Hello and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. I'm Sneha Agrawal, and today I'm here to introduce you to some of the leading lady luminaries of the BFSI sector on the occasion of International Women's Day. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Sneha. Hi, I'm Lalita Bhatia. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of IDBI Federal Life Insurance, and I head the operations of the insurance company.
So, ma'am, what habits do you see make a big contribution in your professional success?
Actually, I have been a big Stephen Covey fan. From the time I have been a senior manager, and when the books came out on the 7 habits of highly effective people, I think whether it's women or men, the book was a big hit. And I think as I was a young manager, I found that some of those habits are really useful. So what I did is I tried to inculcate some of the habits, like being proactive. You begin with the end in mind, and also you synergize with your uh, colleagues. I found some of these habits are very useful, which helps you in your corporate world. And as women, we are always short of time. So some of the habits which are like first things first, which help you, segregate between the urgent and the important, and to do things which are important first rather than urgent. I think those are the habits which are really very useful.
Okay, that was a nice point, nice perspective. Okay, so which of these habits did you develop earlier on in life and which did you develop later?
I think when you're an earlier manager, most of the times your focus is on, trying to get things done. And, at that time when you're young, you are not so much mature. I mean, you don't listen to others. So at that point of time, you're all about, getting things done. But as I matured, as I reached middle management and now in senior management, I think that habit which is seek to, understand and then first understand and then you try to make yourself. Otherwise, generally, we don't listen to people. So over a period of time, I have developed this habit. I try to listen more to my, colleagues, to my team members, and also to the outsiders and customers, so that we are able to understand their point of view. And also, learn that sharpening the saw. That means you improve all your aspects of life, and learn on many areas, the latest developments. All these are habits as you grow and become more senior, and you learn through experiences of life, you tend to develop it better. And you also realize that some of these habits like sharpen the saw really help you, because I love reading, and it has been my hobby from childhood. So some of these habits like sharpen the saw work towards learning, but you also need to work towards your physical strength and your spiritual strength. So those are, as you grow older in life and as you mature, I think those are the habits you tend to work on, and which is what I did.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll also definitely try to get in the habit of listening more to my seniors and others.
Listening, you get a lot, because you have to listen to your customers, you have to listen to your team. So that helps you, understand people better.
So, are there any new habits that you have developed in the near future, maybe in the lockdown?
Uh, in the lockdown, I think what really helped me was, I have this habit of being very, particular on certain things. I can compartmentalize, like I like to work. And most of the people have this problem in lockdown, that they could not segregate the personal and professional lives. So I think some of the habits, like I tend to focus on the first things first. I have a separate, workplace in my house where I work, and then there's a separate place where I would like to relax. So I think because in the lockdown you are constricted in your house, and a lot of people had this problem. So I never worked in places where, like in my bedroom, or I had a separate place which was my workplace, and I would work from there. It also built the discipline. I had the time. I used to work on things which were very, very important rather than urgent, because in lockdown a lot of things happened so suddenly that you really did not have time to adjust to it. So you had to learn to prioritize, and that really helped, because when you're systematic about things, and as a habit, I'm actually a very neat nut, if you may call me so. Even my office, my space is totally uncluttered, and I like to keep a clean desk. So the same thing I had at home also. So I have a separate working place neatly, and I need to work, in a time. And obviously, sometimes, because when you're in senior positions, there's a spillover. You can't exactly say it's a 9 to 5 kind of a job. So then you learn to compartmentalize the meetings which spill over. There sometimes you have to work on Saturdays. So it makes you really learn, that really helps to segregate what is urgent and what is important.
So that's nice. You just have to shift from one room to another, from being in a working phase.
Yes. And I think it really helps, yeah, and it's also mental, because in a place you relax if you work, or you tend to take your work casually, that also affects. So when you're in working environment, it has to be serious and particular, this without any disturbance.
Definitely. So please narrate a couple of incidents when habits have helped you during rough times in a professional career.
I think we are what we are because of our habits. And, I have this habit where I generally tend to synergize with people. I, think win-win, so when you deal with people, if you show them that this is what will help both of us, I think it really helps you to get out of difficult situations. And in professional, we get a lot of those customer complaints and this, where we actually see what can we do so that it helps both the company as well as the customer. So in those cases, thinking win-win, which helps you both with your customer, your distributor, or your team members. When you're dealing with other departments, it helps you. So I have found that it really helps when you actually try to think win-win, and you are able to work on the fact that what is good for both the sides and reach a mid path. I think then you can really avoid confrontations and unnecessary this, and it has helped me a lot. When you're working on audits and a lot of those points, I think it really helps there.
So it makes us feel good about ourselves and the other person. So that's nice.
Yes. And it's nothing about, you have to actually ensure that both parties feel good at the end of the outcome, rather than, you just push somebody down and then you feel that you have won the situation. So I feel a lot of because I deal with customers, team members, and various distributors, and also my colleagues. So day to day, we have a lot of areas where we have to sometimes not be on the same page. So you have to agree to disagree, and ensure that nobody feels bad about it.
Do these habits help you continually or only during rough times?
No, I think habit really, I feel habits help you all the time. You are what is your habit. And I have seen that it helps me both in professional and personal life. You cannot compartmentalize in that sense your habit, because the way you are at home is the way you're going to be in office. If you are going to be, I don't think you can be a different personality. The habit you carry forward from your home to your office and office to your home. So I think these habits help you throughout, and some of the good habits, if you really inculcate, it makes a lot of difference to both your personal and professional lives. Like I'll give you an example. And when in March, which is a very tough time for most insurance, my husband had actually fractured his leg.
Oh my God.
And I remember my mother-in-law actually came in the month of March and she helped me. And so that is why when you synergize with people, when they also feel it's important, to help you. So it really helps. So the way you work in your professional way, you work at home, you can treat your mother-in-law as your ally, and, you can really work with her. It will really help you. So I think those are things where it flows into each other, and it helps you all times in your life, whether it's difficult and in your normal, because some of the habits you really have to segregate urgent and important. Because what really happens daily is the emails, the mail from the boss, or the telephone call. All these become very urgent, but sometimes they may not really help you achieve your goal. So you really will have to segregate into what priority you give. The 80-20 principle, that 20% of your actually are the most important things which you do. The rest you are just trying to. So you focus on the important 20%, and I think that is very, very important.
Yeah.
Whatever be the time in your life, good or bad.
I'll also try to inculcate this habit of urgent versus important. Hopefully that will help me as well.
Yeah, we have to do that. It's very, very important, I think. And that is what has helped me, because there are things which are urgent, which you actually take away your time, but you sometimes lose sight of the important items. So I generally try to make this, and I don't let others drive my priority. I have my list of important things there, which I do irrespective of what others try to, go towards.
Yeah. So the next question is, so do you have any technique that you use to speed up the adoption of these habits?
Actually, when I was reading, because, I love reading. So I was reading this Robin Sharma's book because I love reading. So when I was reading Robin Sharma's, he says it takes 21 days to inculcate a habit. And I think that is what happens. Yeah. So I feel, if you work on any of your habits, like sometimes there are things which I want to do, like I want to read a book, and then you inculcate something like a hobby, like I wanted to, get into gardening and learn something new. So I think these are things, you really want to do something which is away from the routine. So being with plants, taking care of the gardening and, seeing them grow, it really helps, gives a different, kind of a mental refreshment to you. And that really helped me during lockdown, because suddenly, you are locked in your house, but you have all these lovely plants, and, you're tending to them at some part of your day. So you don't get bored. And some of these plants really grew well with all the TLC. So I think it really helps on those part, that if you start working on things. So actually during the lockdown, I noticed like some part of it, I was able to actually work on certain more better habits. Like I started walking to improve my, physical strength. Earlier, one would never get the time. So if you start making time for certain things, you're able to do that. So I think working on your physical, this is very, very critical, especially for women.
Yeah.
We tend to ignore that part of it. We always, hurry to eat and hurry to run, and, we don't take care of ourselves. So I think that is something which I have now realized that we need to build, and especially when you had a lot of work when your kids are not there. So that needs a lot of physical and this stamina. So I think that's where you learned.
Yeah, so women tend to take care of their family over themselves and ignore
Yes.
health.
That's true. That's right. Yes. So that's what I think it gave me time to take care of this, and also realize that it's important that you take care of yourself, and, you have certain, you also have certain targets towards your physical stamina and also towards your mental strength.
Yeah.
And I think it was very, very important during time, because it was a little, very negative around, negative situation, because you see whether it's news, your SMSs, and there's a neighbor getting COVID, and somewhere you have to keep yourself positive in the whole atmosphere. So all these kind of things really helped in keeping positive. A little bit of work, a little bit of your personal, the hobbies which you do, like reading or gardening, that really helps you keep in a better mental strength. So you don't get actually, upset with all the negativity around you, because it's in the channels, it's in the papers, it's everywhere. So, and even now it's not so, I mean, it's still not left, and now it's all about vaccines and how people have this with the vaccine. So I think it's all about your mental strength, which you have to do to cope with this. And coming to office also, you have to, you have to ensure that you have the mental strength to manage and come back to work, and, ensure that you protect yourself and your family.
Especially in this situation, the most important thing is that we have a good immunity. So you have to take care of your family's immunity and yourself.
That's good, yeah. Yes, the eating habits and, the junk is no longer there. So you have to ensure you eat healthy and take care of your immunity. And that's where I think the physical stamina also is very important.
Yeah.
That you are able to, keep things in control.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. So can you recommend any habit that are particularly relevant for women?
Most important for women, I would say time management, managing your urgent and important, both in your personal and professional life. I think also work on your mental and social quotient. invest the time in that. And I think that is very, very important, because if you get sacrificed too much either towards work or towards personal, you may not be able to balance out the whole thing. So it's very, very important that women learn the art of time management.
Okay, so since you love reading, which are the books that you would like to recommend for younger women?
I think for people who, I mean, you know, I loved Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, who was the CEO of the company. And I mean, she's written very well how women, you know, we generally tend to sit at the edge of the table, underestimate ourselves, and how we really need to take our place at the table. And obviously, I would say everybody should read Stephen Covey, because I think it's very, very important, that book. As I read, and as I, you know, over the years, I have the book and I've been reading it for the last at least 15 years. And I realize as you know, age and mature, you see different perspectives as you read it. And I had actually undergone a 2-day training of Franklin Covey on that book. Okay. And that was really useful. I would also recommend The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, which shows that we attract what is our own energies. Like, you know, if we think positive, we attract positive. And when we think negative, we automatically attract that particular, what we don't want. I think these 2-3 books, if most women would, you know, read it, it would really help them. And I actually sometimes give it to my team to read the 7 habits, you know, so that, but I mean, reading is not for everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody has to love reading to actually read through the books. But I would recommend these books, definitely.
I'll definitely try to give them a read. I do have The Secret, but I haven't read it still. I'll definitely read it now.
Yeah. And if you, I mean, like The Secret, then there's the whole Rhonda Byrne series of The Magic. And, you know, it's all about being grateful for what you have. And I would recommend you read it. I mean, I think it will change your perspective.
Yes. Oh, okay, ma'am. So it's done. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure having you.
Thanks, Neha.